For you, I'm Steph McGovern. In the news this week, in Hartlepool, Keir Starmer's advisors suggest he should move on after chatting for 45 minutes to a patient who had only come in with an ingrown toenail. In Andalusia, there's evidence that a recent spillage of omega-3 oil is having an effect on the brains of local wildlife.
Buenas tardes, perdona, para Bolonia.
And just outside Lisbon, it's the first day of term for the apprentices at the Cristiano Ronaldo football school. On Ian's team tonight is a presenter whose first job was in a factory processing peas until someone finally asked for a vowel. Please welcome Carol Vorderman. On Paul's team tonight is a comedian who has a degree in applied theatre, where they teach you about theatre and also how to apply for temp work. Please welcome Nabil Abdul-Rashid. Right, we begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Carol, have a look at this.
Blimey, he'll be glue soon. There's someone speeding. That's Rishi and his wife.
Yep.
Oh, that's Johnson burying the evidence.
Absolutely.
And look, he's being arrested. So, good news week all round.
What a shower, eh? An absolute shower. I can't believe they are our government. I mean, Boris Johnson is like a dose of diarrhoea that keeps on giving, is he not? Just every single time you switch on the news, he's still there. How does this happen?
I think it's something to do with the system. As Carol says, it's not been a good week for the government, and poor old Rishi Sunak, or not poor, that's just... But whenever he thinks things are getting slightly better, it all blows up again, and Suella Braverman was done for speeding.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is the news that Suella Braverman is off the hook for speeding, but Boris Johnson might be back on it again for COVID breaches, although I don't think I want to see Boris's COVID breaches.
I am very interested in this story because everyone says it doesn't matter and so what, it was a speeding thing, but she was Attorney General, which is the person who's sort of in charge of the law, and she asked her civil servants if she could have a one-to-one speed awareness course. And this was on the grounds that she's extremely well known. It would be embarrassing, and I have to say, I did a speed awareness course, and it was unbelievably embarrassing.
So you don't do it again?
So you don't do it again?
Yeah.
I mean, the Archbishop of Canterbury went and sat at the back of his speed awareness course.
He wasn't on the same one as you, was he?
Yeah, of course.
How fast were you going, Ian?
I was doing 24 miles an hour outside IKEA.
I think we should appreciate Suella Braverman while she's here. I mean, yeah, she broke the law as a lawmaker, but I think lawmakers should be allowed to break the laws. Like, every job has its perks. Like, you know, you work at JD Sports, you get a discount. You work at Pizza Hut, you get pizza. You live in Croydon, you learn how to fight. You know, there's these things. I think she's perfect. I think when that children's animation movie about the Tories comes out, she'll make the perfect villain. I think we'll call it 101 Allegations, you know?
I mean, that's fair enough, but I think allegations suggest she's not guilty. So it's 101 damnations.
Very good. So, what's Boris Johnson done now, allegedly?
Well, the suggestion is that he broke COVID regulations not only in his London flat, but also at Chequers, at his country house, which is a big shock to me, because I thought he would break the rules in one place and keep them in the other.
Yeah, so he held gatherings at Chequers, which were against the COVID restrictions in place at the time, which was between June...
He's denied this, though. which
Yes.
means it's true.
Sources told The Times that the alleged breaches involved Johnson's family as well as his friends, although a source close to Johnson denied this. Then Rachel Johnson stepped in to help. She told LBC all the rules were followed whenever I went to check it. No further questions, my lads.
I think Sunak's a little bit pissed off because he wasn't invited.
So how did this all come about then?
Essentially, he got shot by his own people. I mean, the public, you are paying for Boris's defence. And as part of the defence, he handed over his diaries, and the people looked, blimey, look what he was doing then. And they reported him to the police.
Yeah, isn't it like...
Everybody is worried that as soon as you get near Boris, you get fired and you lose your job and life falls apart and you end up in a gutter. Apart from the chairman of the BBC, obviously.
It is time, though, to pull up the deck chair and get out the popcorn, isn't it? I mean, once his WhatsApps start to be revealed, just like the Matt Hancock stuff, amazing.
They are. Supporters of Boris have complained about stitch up and smear.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a firm of solicitors, doesn't it?
Gynecologist.
See, I thought that, but I didn't want to say it.
I was there with you, but I thought, no. I wouldn't want to see that on television.
Absolutely not.
This is the BBC.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've actually got my muff out on telly and done a
beg your
live
pardon?
smear test. Yeah. It got me a BAFTA nomination, actually.
This isn't Channel 4 lunchtime now, you know.
There are people watching.
Here we go.
Are you going to take that?
This is it. The shit is hitting the fan now, love. Right. What has Boris Johnson called the Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden, who is, of course, in charge of the Cabinet Office? What's he called him?
A pussyo.
It'd be one of his nicknames.
Oh, God, not an old... Is he an old Etonian as
Oliver
well,
Dowden.
Dowden?
I don't think he is.
Is he not?
No, I think he went to another public school.
Oh, did he? It's the same lot, isn't it, really?
No, they're not all... We're not... They're not all... the same by any means, Carol, honestly.
He called him a compliant tool of the blob. Who's the blob?
The blob is anyone who opposes Boris.
Oh, are we?
What else are Boris's enemies supposed to be holding up?
Is it banners?
No. Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
Tell us.
His resignation honours list. So Nadine Dorries and a few other MPs have been told they can't wait until the next election, will have to give up their seats as MPs to take up their ladyships, which means there could be at least 3 by-elections.
I'm sorry, I grew up in Nigeria, right? I'm Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria, so for me, by-election just means that votes are on sale. What exactly?
It's when an MP leaves their position for whatever reason, they then have to vote in another MP for that constituency, and it's called a by-election.
We're a couple of years behind Nigeria in terms of corruption.
Yeah, I mean, the boys back home are actually quite proud of your progress. You know, you've got... This is the most welcome I've ever felt in this country.
More bad news for the government as well. The legal migration figures came out this week. Net migration to the UK last year was 606,000 people. It's gone up quite a lot. What do you think on this, Nabil? Are you surprised?
Woo, get in there, lads. I love it. You know how many nice takeaways are going to open now from other countries? It's legal immigration, do you say? It wasn't illegal?
No,
legal.
no, legal.
Legal?
Yes.
Now, what's the problem? They're doing it legally. What's the problem?
But it's gone up quite a lot. It was about 200,000 a couple of years ago.
Well, just if I refresh my memory, 300 years ago, a few people came over to certain countries also, well, not quite legally, and I mean, eventually we persuaded them to leave, but they took some stuff, so as far as I see it, you owe us, so...
There are a lot of Nigerians, aren't there, in those figures?
My friend, why do you like bringing all this small stuff?
I'm just interested.
We're all Nigerians somehow.
I lived in Nigeria for 4 years.
Did you?
No wonder we have so many problems. You see?
I was between 0 and 4, so... but still, I can still create trouble.
Wow, so you're actually Nigerian?
Technically.
Ah, my guy, chop knuckle, man.
Were you born there, then?
No, I left Wales to go to Nigeria.
You're Welsh.
Nigerian.
How many different people that everybody hates do you want to be?
This is the news that Boris Johnson may have broken the rules during lockdown by hosting a series of parties at Chequers, which he insists can't be true, as he was too busy hosting parties at Downing Street. After being caught speeding, Suella Braverman has been fined and was given 3 points. When he became Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak insisted his government would be based on integrity, professionalism and accountability. 3 points Suella hasn't got. Before they were handed over to the inquiry, some of Boris Johnson's more controversial WhatsApp messages were redacted, leading the Metropolitan Police to respond, "What? You can redact them?" Paul and Nabil, have a look at this.
Yes. Okay. Where Philip Schofield has had to leave after 20-odd years of presenting the daytime live show.
He had such a decorated career. He was a legend. And then he left. There wasn't like a big hoo-ha about him leaving. Just left like a disgruntled intern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope he stole something before he left, because that's...
This is the news that Philip Schofield has left ITV daytime show this morning, showing just how quickly a career on daytime television can come to a crashing halt overnight.
I found this story quite difficult to follow since I didn't know who they were.
Or indeed there was such a thing as daytime TV.
I always imagine it as people talking when someone's hoovering, so it doesn't really matter what they say. You're on it, aren't you?
Well, I do every other Friday, yeah, with Alison and lovely Dermot.
So you're going to take over? Is it going to be Holly and Carol?
No.
Oh.
Probably Holly and Alison, I would have thought.
Is that where your money is?
That's where I put my money, yeah. Would you, Steph?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's always going to be really difficult, isn't it? You know, when there's a bit of rift between a much-loved, long-running TV duo.
Yes, but we don't sit next to each other.
Yeah.
What's the secret to your success as a pair?
We don't talk to each other outside of a recording.
Emergency presenters are being drafted in. Here's how Alison Hammond and Dermot O'Leary paid tribute to Philip Schofield the day after his departure was announced. And just to be clear, he hadn't died.
Now, we can't start today's show without paying tribute to the man who spent the last 2 decades sitting on the This Morning sofa, Philip Schofield.
So, as a show, everyone on and off-screen at ITV and This Morning want to say a huge thank you for what it's done to make the show such a success over the last 21 years.
Is not the thing with people on daytime telly that they give an impression of being incredibly nice? And apparently, Carol, behind the scenes, people aren't very nice. The smiley, lovely, you're the people next door, you're the sit on the sofa and say, would you want to eat this thing, or...
Ian, are you forgetting you've actually been on my show?
Yeah.
And it was daytime.
It was favours.
Yeah, but you did feature in a section called Where Are They Now? When I was on, it was called Where Were They Then?
I love daytime telly, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I love daytime telly too, but I spent time in jail. So, you know...
Should we have a look at what Eamon Holmes had to say about it all?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All of this, of course, follows the big announcement on Saturday from Philip Schofield that he was stepping down.
Oh, stop, please, let's just stop this. He was sacked. Right. All this nonsense about giving him credit. I've decided to step down. I'm sure you did. Sure you did. Here's your P45. Now step down. You know, why do we propagate this language use? I've decided to step down. And she says, oh, the couch will not feel the same without him being there. Well, she wanted him not there, so what's she moaning about the couch not feeling the same for? I mean, they deserve each other, I suppose.
The Daily Mail carried out a poll after the news of Philip Schofield's departure. What was the question that they asked their readers?
Who is Philip Schofield?
The Daily Mail asked readers, who do you want to see on the This Morning sofa this week?
Yeah.
And 75% of the 5,569 readers who took part replied, none. I'm sick to the back teeth of the lot of them. Finally, This Morning wasn't the only show on television having problems. Here's the start of a news bulletin on S4C News, which is Channel 4 in Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah? See if you can spot the technical glitch.
Yeah.
Mae mwy na 30,000 o gleifion wedi bod yn aros dros 2 flynedd am driniaeth ar y gwasanaeth iechyd. Mae ffigurau sydd newydd...
Not gonna lie, he's a legend for turning like that.
This is the news that Philip Schofield has stepped down from his co-presenting role on This Morning. Holly and Phil have also received a nomination in this year's National Television Awards, presumably for Best Drama. Despite leaving This Morning, Philip has stated that he will continue to present Dancing on Ice alongside Holly Willoughby, and they'll save on the budget because the rink's going to be frozen just by the atmosphere between them. And so to round 2, the strengthometer of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Yeah, Ian?
It's the Chelsea Flower Show.
I thought this was about a shortage of fruit pickers.
Is it Just Stop Oil?
So this is the news that Just Stop Oil protesters have targeted one of the gardens at the Chelsea Flower Show. The garden they targeted was the one designed for wealth manager RBC Brewing Dolphin. What form did the protest take then?
Was it like I know it was orange.
Was it like at the snooker?
Orange powder, yeah. It's the
Yeah.
kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Oh, for God's sake.
No! Stop it!
Bloody moron.
No! Stop!
That is the poshest, whitest thing.
One of them was throwing it over herself.
Yes.
What happened next?
Batman turned up.
And they got arrested and taken away by the police, I should imagine. By the flower squad.
No. Let's find out what happened
No.
next.
Time to face up to the truth! Take your heads out of your pea-free compost and bug hotel! Because they're under attack. Other ways of doing
This isn't Chicago, is it? It's not the sort of thing that would happen in America.
Wait.
There'd be at least 15 people dead by now.
So, the person spraying the water on them, were they part of the demonstration?
No.
She is part of the Chelsea Flower Show police, and that's a very small water cannon.
What in the vegan barbecue is going on?
The woman was a visitor.
She was a visitor?
Yeah. She was
enjoying
the event.
looking at the garden, and they were getting in the way, so she hosed them down.
She didn't hose them down, she watered them. Now they're going to grow even bigger.
What did the clean-up operation involve?
More water?
When I was watching that, I thought if she hadn't done the water, they could have just brushed it up and got a Dyson round, like you do when you're watching This Morning.
Dyson is the name of Ian's butler.
Spelt Digby, Featherstone, Hufston.
Meanwhile, what has Monty Don said he would do if he were king?
Free ganja for everyone.
Send everybody a packet of seeds.
No.
No.
Tell us.
Monty Don wants to ban artificial grass. Anyone here got artificial grass? Have you?
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, you got a boo there for that.
Really?
I think he's got a orange powder in his...
I do.
Time now for the odd one out round. Your four are Olaf Scholz, Rishi Sunak, footballer Erling Haaland, and Winston Churchill. Think about what Winston Churchill's wearing.
Oh, he's wearing, was that known as a boiler suit, was it?
A siren suit, but...
A siren suit? Yeah, that's not helpful at all.
Give us a clue that's more like the answer.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. They've all set fashion trends apart from...
Rishi
Sunak.
Everybody's wearing those white hats these days.
Do you know what? I used to spend so much time in safety gear when I worked at BBC Breakfast. Someone set up a fetish website of Steph in safety gear.
So,
Was it you, Paul?
Paid for a holiday.
I love a safety helmet. But...
Do you?
Oh, I do, yeah. I used to work underground as an engineer, and I had, like, khaki green boiler suit with a khaki green safety helmet. Me and 2,000 men underground it was, yeah.
Did they get out alive?
No.
I'm going to tell you the answer.
Yeah. Good.
They've all set fashion trends apart from German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, whose fashion is so old it's wanted by a museum. The Times reported that the German Chancellor has been carrying around the same leather satchel for 40 years, and now a bid has been put in for it by the House of History. Someone's looked up museum and the thesaurus there, haven't they? If you want to look a bit more like the German Chancellor, the great news is... The great news is that if you travel to his hometown of Hamburg, this man will give you the Olaf Scholz special for under €5.
But that man's clearly modelling the old trick glasses, false nose and moustache.
What fashion trend has Rishi Sunak set then?
I don't know.
Well, while in Japan at the G7, the Prime Minister...
Shoes.
...wore these red socks.
Oh, socks.
Oh,
yes, that's
so
what... You see them everywhere.
They've got the logo of Hiroshima's Toya Kart, which is the Japanese Prime Minister's favourite baseball team. Here he is with Rishi. I realising that Sunak's just stood on his pet snail. What has Manchester City footballer Erling Haaland increased the sales of?
He wears a hairband, doesn't he? But that's not it.
It's not that.
No.
Move down the body.
He wears a hairband. I can't stop now.
Is he the one that has his own brand underwear?
It's to do with underwear. So the football striker was recently pictured in the Manchester City changing room alongside Noel Gallagher wearing a pair of white Y-fronts. Here he is. The Daily Star reported that men trying to emulate the Norwegian footballer caused Y-front sales to increase by 45%.
Yes, but how many were they selling? Before that, that could be like they've sold 4.
According to the Science Museum archives, Churchill wore one of his suits to the White House, where the First Lady, Mrs. Roosevelt, declared that she was having one made for her husband. Finally, how has one man made sure he never leaves the house without his favourite fashion item?
Has he had it tattooed onto him?
He has. Blaze Ambrozac from Rochdale has had his favourite pair of Nike trainers tattooed onto his feet. Here they are. All that effort and he's still got a pair that are 2 sizes too small for him. Time now for the missing words round. And we start with Essex couple get payout after what?
Water buffalo eats immersion heater.
You know that is nearly the answer.
Oh, no, it is water buffalo or some bison or something, local sort of oxen.
What, in Essex?
Yeah. They were on holiday and they came over and they saw this and they jumped into the swimming pool.
Yeah. Essex couple get payout after water buffaloes fall into their swimming pool. Let's have a look. Next, new bus stops finally arrive in Norwich, but what?
Nobody cares. Facing the wrong way.
New bus stops finally arrive in Norwich, but people baffled by upside-down timetable. This was in the Norwich Evening News, where they included images of their reporters at the scene looking at the timetable. A Norfolk County Council spokesman said the timetables are now the right way. Yay! Unfortunately, it does mean all the bus shelters are now upside down. And finally, temporary traffic light in Gloucestershire, what?
It's not permanent. Celebrates an anniversary.
Yes! You are bloody good at this.
That's amazing.
Is that right?
Yeah, temporary traffic light in Gloucestershire gets birthday cake to mark a year on street.
He's like the Rain Man of nonsense.
Yeah, let's have a look at the moving ceremony to mark the occasion.
Is that a hearse in the background? I reckon they're waiting for the bloke on the right. What do you think? Do we have a sweet,
So the final scores are Ian and Carol have 7.
Yes.
Paul and Nabil also have 7.
Oh.
For me, that's a huge result. Thank you.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and Carol have this.
SNP pick new auditor.
Government ethics advisor given unredacted access to Boris's WhatsApp.
Paul and Nabil, get this.
When they told me I was going to be the branch manager, naturally I was very...
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Carol Vorderman, Paul Merton and Nabil Abdul-Rashid. And I leave you with news that in an amazing coincidence in Buxton, the Bradford and Bingley and Home Pride Flower Company outings take place on the same day. In ITV's revamped Bullseye, there's concern that they've spent too much on Bully's star prize. And there's suspicion of another smear campaign against Suella Braverman as a file of speed camera photos mysteriously emerges.